So today's topic is, can a concussion cause Hashimoto's? So the answer to that is it can trigger Hashimoto's. So Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease. People who are looking at this probably already know what Hashimoto's is. It's an immune attack against your thyroid. You can have silent autoimmune disease. You can have silent Hashimoto's for your whole life and never get it. What has to happen is you have to have some sort of a trigger that triggers your immune system, which is usually already compromised from other things, to flare up and attack the tissue in your body that says, you can attack my thyroid. And because it's genetically programmed that way. And so when the trigger happens, your immune system your immune system flares up, and then that flares up the antibodies to your thyroid, and then that tells your immune system to attack the thyroid, and that's how you get autoimmune thyroid disease. There are multiple triggers. One of the triggers is trauma. Okay, so if you get a concussion, or if you get a broken leg, okay, or if you get in a car accident, you get a whiplash, and you have a whiplash for weeks or months, or you have a concussion. Basically, what happens is your immune system, you immediately get inflammation. Okay, you get inflammation. In fact, if you get a concussion, it's even worse, because if you get a concussion, listen to this, within 5 minutes, the inside lining of your gut starts to break down. So those of you who are familiar with leaky gut, and you get a concussion, within 5 minutes, leaky gut starts to occur. Why is that important? Because back to the concussion causes inflammatory responses. That raises up the immune responses, and then you can trigger Hashimoto's. So as it cause it, okay, the genetics being triggered by something would be the root cause of it. And the concussion would be one of those somethings. Another thing that can trigger it is the concussion causes a leaky gut within minutes. Look it up, it's like stunning, like within minutes. Now you got a leaky gut. Now you got toxins leaking out of your gut. You got bad bacteria leaking out of your gut. You got undigested food particles leaking out of your gut. They go a lot of different places, okay? But that is a huge trigger and perpetuator of autoimmune disease. In fact, it's a new theory that the breakdown of the gut, creating overwhelming chemicals and infections and food sensitivities, overwhelming your liver and decreasing certain nutrients in that liver that stop us from getting too overzealous immune attacks, may be why we're getting so much autoimmunity. And what's the main cause of that? The main cause of that is usually stress, or one of these triggers that I'm talking about. So the concussion works in that particular area as well. So concussion's a trigger, basically. Absolutely. I have had several concussions myself, and it can not only trigger Hashimoto's, but if you don't know how to take care of your concussion, it can actually also perpetuate the problem until you get the concussion under control, for those people who have post-concussion syndrome, which is actually a small percentage of people who get concussions. But that's kind of concussion and Hashimoto's.